Fallout New Vegas is incredible, and I mean it. Having now traveled to nearly every location on the map during the course of the Unexplored Mojave, I've really grown to appreciate this game even more than I did 10 years ago. Learning what lies around every corner, learning about the lore, both fictional and non-fictional, I guess that's just called history, has been an incredible experience. Above all else, I've really grown to appreciate this game's mechanics. Sure, the gunplay isn't up to par with modern games, but the freedom the game gives you to deal with any situation is so good. Even after hundreds of hours of playing the game, there are so many things you can miss in the base game. The entire crafting system in this game is actually pretty good and actually pretty in-depth. Recycling ammunition, gambling, and an entire fighting arena. And of course, there is Caravan. However, out of all of New Vegas' systems, Caravan is the least talked about, it seems. Despite being introduced very early on in the game, with Ringo giving you a deck of cards, most players' experience probably goes something like this. Oh, hello Ringo, I'm saving your sorry ass from a gang. Oh, you want to play cards? Okay, rules, okay. Here we go, what the fuck is going on? I'm just here to shoot people, okay, I don't want to play solitaire, and bye. And throughout the rest of the game, when you're engaging with random NPCs, you see Caravan pop up, but you don't ever want to touch that again because it was weird, it was confusing, and you did not buy this game to play solitaire. And yeah, the game is a little confusing, at least for people like me and other people, but yeah, someone in the comments will probably be like, it's so easy, blah, 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 but now Deleted on Reddit agrees with me. So after watching a 40-minute video, yes, that's right, you heard me, 40-minute video on the internet on how to play, I now have a pretty good grasp on how it's played. It's sort of a combination of blackjack and solitaire. Basically, we have 3 caravans and the opposing player has 3 caravans as well. Boneyard, Redding, Shady Sands, Dayglow, New Reno, and The Hub, for a total of 6 caravans on the board. We want to get each of our caravans to a number between 21 and 26. The first one to 2 caravans of 21 to 26 wins the game. The first 3 turns we place the first cards in each caravan, and from there we either have to ascend, descend, or place a same suit. So for example, here we're going to start with a 10 of hearts. Now we can only descend from here because kings, jacks, and queens have no value. So we can now place an 8 because it is lower than 10. After that, we can place anything lower than 8. So I place a 2. Now we are at 20, but now we have a problem. We're at 20 and we cannot descend anymore. And since we are descending, we cannot ascend. So I cannot place a 3 unless it is a 3 of hearts. Since we have a 2 of hearts, we can now place a 3 of hearts. However, the pile is still descending, but now we could place a 2 in theory, but we have 23, so we are okay. We're in the safe zone. And in Caravan, aces are only worth 1, unlike Blackjack, where aces can be worth 11 or 1. Now, there are still kings, queens, jacks, and even jokers in this game. They just have effects on the cards. For example, kings double the value of whatever card they're placed on. So for example, 10 becomes 20, 5 becomes 10, 4 becomes 8, etc. You can also put a king on top of a king. For example, I put a king on 6, which is 12, and another king makes it 24. We're in the safe. Queens, on the other hand, flip the suit and reverse the order. For example, if we have a descending caravan and it is of spades, and we place a queen, it will become an ascending caravan, and if it's like a queen of hearts, now it is a suit of hearts. Jacks remove a card from the deck, so if you place a jack on a 10, it removes the 10. This is very useful because we can place jacks, queens, and queens on the opponent, so we can remove opponent's cards from their caravan. Meanwhile, jokers kind of cause chaos, but they can be used very strategically. If you place a joker on a card, it removes all of the cards on the entire board of that number. So if you place a joker on a 10, it removes all 10s from the board, yours and your opponent's. Or if it's placed on an ace, it removes all cards of that suit. So if you place a joker on an ace of spades, then it removes every single spade from the entire board. Now, a unique feature of Caravan is that we build our own deck of cards. You need at least 30 cards to play, but you can have as many cards as you want. For example, we can have 2 eights of hearts from separate decks. As long as they're not from the same deck, we are okay. So for example, here we have a red deck and a black deck, and we can use as many eights as we want from both decks. Now, in Fallout New Vegas, they just come from the casinos. Now, like I said at the beginning of the game, Ringo gives us an almost complete deck of cards from the tops, 53 of 54 tops cards. So that means we want to look for cards from the Lucky 38, the Gomorrah, the Ultralux, or the Sierra Madre. So this is a very interesting way to play a card game, of course, because usually you just use a deck of 52 or 54 cards if you can use jokers. Now, having the most cards doesn't necessarily mean the best advantage. For example, most people agree that by far the best strategy is King Me. In this deck, we only use 10s, 8s, 6s, and kings, so you'll probably have around 30 cards, and that's actually the recommended, having 30 cards. Now, since cards must be from different decks or casinos, that means you have to find cards. They can be anywhere in the Mojave, so while looting, if you find cards, you definitely want to pick them up. Additionally, many vendors sell cards, so whenever you are trading, see if they have any cards and buy them because they are dirt cheap. Something I noticed is cards don't have a category. Take Blake here for example. He always stocks cards, making him the best card vendor in the entire game. He's at the Crimson Caravan and New Vegas. But if I go to miscellaneous in his inventory, there aren't any cards. But if I view his entire inventory, then we can find some cards. General stores and trading caravans are the ones most likely to be selling cards. Now, an issue with Caravan is that not many NPCs actually play the game. Only 13 characters in the base game actually play, and Honest Hearts added 1, Jed Masterson, but Jed dies in the very beginning of that DLC, so I guess it doesn't matter. Now, I used a variation of King Me since I didn't have enough cards for 30. I added a mix of 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, and kings. This strategy was very effective still. It allows you to win the game quickly and efficiently. So now that I had a strategy down and understood the game, I wanted to find the most difficult character in the entire game. Searching the internet gave me 2 results, No Bark and Johnson Nash. So I made my way to Novak to play No Bark, and he was disappointingly easy. But apparently the King Me strategy is just very effective against him, as it is with most NPCs. So I moved on to Prim to play Mr. Nash, and yeah, he was probably the most difficult. I lost once, but won 3 other times, meaning like 75%. The games took longer than with other NPCs because Nash uses a lot of face cards, meaning he uses a lot of jacks, meaning he can remove my cards from the board. I also found Jules to be a bit difficult over in the North Vegas Square. It seems his deck is a bit similar to King Me. He utilizes a lot of higher numbered cards and kings, but he has a total of 3 caps to bet, so you can only win 3 caps from him, but I enjoyed playing him not for the money, but for the challenge. Once I understood Caravan, I actually quite enjoyed it. I was playing for a long time and kind of just lost track of time because I was having so much fun with it. I always imagined some alternate dimension where New Vegas was given more development time. I wish Caravan had a larger role within the game besides just being some side game, and I hope Bethesda considers bringing it back in a future installment of Fallout. I think it would be really cool to be negotiating with someone, and then instead of a speech check, you play it out over a game of Caravan. I just wish it had a larger utilization within the game itself, during a quest or within dialogue with a character. And this is not just my wish. Joshua Sawyer, one of the developers of New Vegas, stated that the team did want to test out and improve Caravan, but there was just too many other issues to fix in Fallout New Vegas. He said that if they had more time, they wanted to do a few things better for Caravan. 1, having a better tutorial for the game so players are not as intimidated by it. 2, simplify the deck, especially this deck menu is terrible, and to eliminate the meta of loading everything up with 6s, 8s, 10s, and kings, otherwise known as King Me. Now, obviously, the 6 Caravan names within the game, Boneyard, Redding, Shady Sands, Dakelow, New Reno, and The Hub, are all locations within the west coast of Fallout, making appearances in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. Something else worth mentioning is Festus at the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters actually will give the player playing cards if you beat him in Lucky Horseshoes, which is just a variant of blackjack. However, for whatever reason, my Festus was glitched out. While it appears that he's still alive, if I punch him, I cannot talk to him for whatever reason. I don't know why this glitch happened, I couldn't find much about it online, but it's kind of sad. But Festus in my game, well, is no more. Now I want to mention that this video is recommended to me by Bad Mando, who said make a video playing Caravan. So I hope I satisfied what you wanted, kind of explaining and diving into Fallout New Vegas's Caravan. Now, I do actually really enjoy Caravan when I know how to play it. I learned how to play it about 10 years ago in order to get the achievement for winning 10 games of Caravan, and I did quite enjoy playing it, and upon relearning how to play the game, I do enjoy it a lot. I do wish maybe it was a little bit more in depth or a little bit easier to pick up, because yeah, the King Me strategy is very overpowered. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Unexplored Mojave. If you have any ideas for future videos or future ideas, such as this, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. You guys are so freaking awesome for all of the support throughout this series, and it feels very good to be back in the Mojave Wasteland. And as always, until next time.